Alone Rewinding. 23 Years of Fatherhood and Music. Written and narrated by Jonah Matranga. Introduction. When I found out I was going to be a father, I didn't know what that meant. I got a beeper to make sure Heather could reach me. When I got the page telling me it was time to go to the delivery room, I was on my way to play basketball with Kev. We were walking down W. Late summer evenings in Sacramento, sun-softened pavement warming the trees in the dusk. I was surprised when I was told that Sacramento has more trees per square whatever than any city except Paris. Driving back from a perfect day up in the snowy hills out on the 50, Kev said that view of the Sacto skyline was his favorite. Now, I see the trees that way when I think of how many there are. A more humbling reminder is the pollen. You can see it flying around in the spring. I could blame my early 90s Vedder meets Kermit vocal tone on all the abuse my sinuses took back then, but I think it had a lot more to do with insecurity than anything in the air. I was so wound up. Wiry and angular, 145 from 17 to 35, topped by a storm of hair that preceded and defined me. It was more confident and good-looking than I was. It was free and powerful. When I tied it back, it'd sit on my shoulder sometimes. It looked most like a guinea pig. My hair was bigger than me in every way, and I really never caught up to it. On an impossibly hot drive down the 80 in the summer of '93, I stopped in Berkeley. Kay was living on Francisco with Walk, Luna, and Indy. No one was home, so I crawled through the window, found some scissors, and cut my puffy ponytail off in one big lump. I don't miss it at all. Chapter 1. Communication. Sit at home another day. I sit at home just waiting. In high school, I was in a band and a crew. I sang, played guitar, and wrote most of the tunes for Shot in the Dark. My moves in the final touch were the knee spin and the strobe light. Neither were worth much in a battle. I couldn't do flares into windmills like Zippy and Wolfsdorf. I couldn't make my pecs pop like Toby. I just loved the helium voices riding the beat and jam on it. I don't know if I could pick out another Nucleus track, but that one is with me for good. Setting up the cardboard in the alley by the Coolidge Theater felt just like the cook's house on Griggs, air guitaring separate ways on broomsticks in the living room, or playing ham-fisted covers of Purple Haze in the basement, where the drum set lived. I couldn't dance, play, or sing particularly well. I didn't know what I wanted to do, or who I wanted to do it with. I just wanted to be part of a family. Listening to the songs I wrote back then, I think that's what that kid was thinking about. The lyrics were mopey, angry journal entries, and the music was me trying to figure out music. Communication was the scrappy take on reggae that I heard for the first time through The Clash. I was the white kid in the Pelé looking for fun. Murder by Suicide was going for beat-crazy era Joe Jackson musically and lyrically. The story of a kid that couldn't take the stress of living up to the expectations of his family. Get It Off Your Back was a teenage diatribe aimed at the pharmaceutical industry, and the brooding chords drenched in delay was my best attempt at being the edge. After All started just like You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, but where Ozzy wandered off into Randy's transcendent riffs, I drifted out on a cloud of single-coil stereo chorus and sang about being powerless, bitter, and frightened in a relationship, and love keeping me around. It was about my mom. I liked music better than I liked people. When that thought arrived for the first time, I felt ashamed. It made perfect sense in my room, though, with the sounds of a storm outside, and Daltrey being Townsend's voice, restlessly praying for a drink of...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?